Test 1, 2. Test.
See, 1, 2. Test 1, 2. 1, 2.
Hey, Demetrios, something's growing out of your chicken. Oh, that's a great thing. Seriously.
You mean like that for the same or was the like animal intestine?
No, I don't think we have that.
But they used to do it. That was animal intestine. They used to clean it, and that's what they used to do in the bag. The bag was yeah. That's why it was permeable, and it's like you can find it.
Yo tengo un zapato de payaso. Chico, pero ¿sabes cómo tenía de payaso? Es que parece. Es una percepción. De aquel lado. No, just kidding, just kidding.
Latin, so relate. And then the Greek, Latin, Greek, so it's even, so it's not like half hour.
What time is it now? Oh, let me put my settings because.
Tengo algo aquí, pero no puedo dar, estoy un poco malo. Y aquí,
No, yo no veo tocando tampoco siempre.
yo sí,
Sí, eso es bueno porque te calienta.
pero lo pongo en la voz. ¿De quién es?
Tiene que ser bonito. No hay de otra.
Bueno, eso no es la gente.
Yes,
No,
no,
ya.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. He'll work on it. He'll work.
But he doesn't have like, who needs monitoring? Yeah, I want to get started. Yeah, because when it gets to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, no,
okay,
no, no.
yeah, monitor for the trombone, monitor for the singer. I'm going to use this one. You know?
That's when we go on our tour.
I mean, if you have extra, then we can give it to the percussion. Thank you. The bass.
Bring me out here.
Check, 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 check. Can everyone hear me? Thank you. Have to navigate this wire today. So first, I want to welcome everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces, but I also see a lot of new faces. So I want to welcome you to the Point CDC, where community and creativity align. I would like, who clapped? There we go. Can I get a round of applause, please? Thank you. Now, I only have one thing that I ask. I'll make this very quick because we want to get to the music. I always ask my crowd, if you're good, and I need you to respond with, we good. You ready? You good? We good. Man, that's the best one I think I've gotten so far. So I want to welcome you to the Living Legend series presented by Angel Ruben Rodriguez Sr. And this is in tribute to Mr. Demetrios Kastaris. And save the best for last, Vicki Solá. Just so you know, Demetrios insisted on you going first, but I want to say last. So now I go into my game show mode, as everyone who knows here, and for $1 million, no, okay, let me stop. Okay, so now Demetrios Kastaris, who has been credited as being the mastermind behind the Latin Jazz Coalition, which was birthed in a recording studio in Jamaica, Queens, in the middle of the night after composing and arranging his first two arrangements. The Latin Jazz Coalition has been around for 40 years, so today we celebrate the historic 40-year anniversary milestone of the Latin Jazz Coalition. 40 years. Even though I'm speaking, I don't like to make it about me, but I only can give you a short story so I can show you the impact of this gentleman here on me, and I'll make it very quick. This gentleman literally fed me when I was a young man. My dad would be gigging, and every now and then there may be a dry season, not a lot of gigs coming up, stuff like that. And he would always come through with 4 or 5 gigs that we had. And I just have to thank you. I just have to say that out loud so they can know that milk, juice, bread, and eggs, right? Hugo leche, huevo y pan. Thank you very much. Now, Vicki Solá, I would love for that. Thank you. Now, Vicki Solá, on-air personality, radio personality, champion of our culture, champion of our music. I don't want to go too deep into this because I want to get to the music as well, but I want to tell you what a deep honor it is to have you here for us, and I see the love that you bring along with you as well. Now, there is one thing, bear with me a moment. Come. What's Hiram's last name? Thank you. I always call them Hiram, okay? And I want to ask you for a moment. Man, I already forgot his last name because I'm about to get emotional. Ramon, thank you. Hiram Ramon. I want to take a moment of silence to celebrate a singer, sang with the Latin Jazz Coalition for many years. 30 years, look at that, 30 out of the 40. This gentleman was an elder to me when I would be doing illegal child labor with these gentlemen walking around carrying instruments. You're in the civil suit, Demetrios, you're in the civil suit, I must tell you. But all jokes aside, we bring laughter to grief, and I want to give honor to his family that's sitting here with us today. And if you're alive, please, I just want... Just know this. This is a place of love. You are welcome always. And we do this in happiness in his memory. And if you would just please bow your heads, give a moment of silence for Hiram. I appreciate that, everyone. And I just want to pass it off to my father, Angel Ruben Rodriguez Sr., so we can do a quick presentation. Thank you very much. Here you go.
I want to thank everybody y todo el mundo por venir aquí, ¿no? Estar con nosotros aquí en Hunts Point, un barrio que era candela y todavía medio candela, pero no tanto como era antes. Cuando nosotros empezamos aquí, esto era candela aquí, era una cosa brava, pero nosotros plantamos nuestra bandera y nos quedamos aquí para 30 años, o más de 30 años. María Torres, una de las fundadoras del Point y la presidenta del Point, y vamos a presentarle.
Okay. So, thank you, Angel. Again, welcome to the Point. We love seeing all your faces here. We got some regulars for the Latin Jazz concerts that we do about 3 or 4 times a year. So thank you all for coming back, and thank you all the new faces for coming, and hopefully we'll see you some more. But again, I know Demetrios, I can feel him pacing behind me. This guy, again, we are honored and so happy to be able to honor Demetrios and Miss Vicki Solá. Demetrios, you've been here almost as long, you just like Angel. I mean, you've been coming here for concerts for about 30 years that we've been doing it, and so I'm glad you finally reached legend status, right? So we get to honor you. Just kidding, he's always been a legend. He's always been a legend. So we have a plaque for you, so that's for Demetrios. Well, there's one for you and one for Vicki.
She gets top billing.
Oh,
She goes last. She gets top billing.
all right, and then Vicki, again, as Tito mentioned, everything you've done for the culture, the music, the people, we are so glad to be able to give you this moment and to welcome you to our space, and hopefully many, many more years for both of you to continue doing what you're doing, because it's so valuable. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so Vicki first.
Okay. They said I have time, so that's more than I usually have at home or anywhere else. But I want to thank you so much for coming. Thank you. I feel humbled. Angel, thank you for everything you have done for all of us for so many years. Our, community and what you continue to do. It's just amazing. Please, a round of applause for Angel Ruben Rodriguez Sr. And my brother, Demetrios Kastaris. Demetrios has been with me supporting everything I do for so many years, whether it's my crazy book and comedy stuff or Que Viva La Música. He put together one year a WFDU-FM all-star band. It was amazing, and it took a lot to do that. He's always been in my corner throughout all of these years. So a round of applause for Demetrios Kastaris. I want to thank, is she here, my dear extraordinary flutist sister from another planet, Connie Grossman. A round of applause. Love you, my sister. Always there for me, too. And you know something? How many people remember Tony Rodriguez from La Maganette? All right. Well, I'm going to invoke Tony's words. Tony Rodriguez always said, "We never do it alone." And, that is so true. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be standing here now, okay? We never do it alone. That is just so, so true. And I have to thank my Que Viva La Música Quad Squad. You know what? If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here either. I'm talking about Marisol Cervera Rodriguez, Jose Calderon, and King Louis Vasquez. All right, you got a fan club, Louis. And you know, Louis is on Mundo Salsa Radio, as I am now, every Tuesday from 6 to 8 p.m. with his show, King Louis Royal Salsa. You can have dinner with King Louis. What else would you expect to be? King Louis Royal Salsa, right? No, you're the best. Let's have a fight. Who's the best? Let's have a food fight. Okay. So, you know, my quad squad, Marisol, Jose, and King Louis are an integral part of my success and my being here. Do you know, during the COVID-19 lockdown, they're the ones who kept it going. I didn't. They did. So please, a round of applause for my quad squad. And they are still part of everything I do. And my dear family, I do have to thank WFDU-FM, even though they kicked us out for 70s and 80s rock and roll after everything we did for all those years and how our community came through. I have to thank them. They did give me the chance. I created Que Viva La Música in 1983, and they let me go with it, and I don't think any of them really are sorry about it. I think we performed. I've been so proud of our community and so proud of our music and our musicians, because we led the way at this New York Metro station for over 4 decades, university-owned and community-supported. Our community was #1 in supporting, so I do want to say that. I'm not going to take too long because I know we got music.
I'm about to
But-
put security on.
Will be the first time. I want to send my love to Mario and Hilda here. They're my family. And I want to, actually, you know, I want to thank each and every person for these 40 years. I almost said 40 decades. I would be too old then. 40 years for helping me. Anybody who ever made a donation, anybody who ever came and answered a phone for me throughout these years. You know, the level of dedication. I had one person who came every week for 4 Saturdays from the Bronx with a broken foot. Can you imagine coming to answer phones for me? That's the level of dedication that I'm talking about. I want to acknowledge my dear friend, my sister Blanca Diaz, for everything she does for us. Blanca, thank you so much for being my friend, my sister, and Blanca has a great group on Facebook, and it is called Eventos, Cultura y Algo Más, and she takes her time and she does so much. She puts together all the events so we can get out there and support live music, because that's what we need to keep it going. We need to support our musicians. I'm not sure if she's here. I want to thank Carmen Cruz for her, Carmen, you here? All right, my sis Carmen, thank you for coming. You know, Carmen does so much for our community, and on Que Viva La Música right now, she has a segment where she brings us health and events. Okay, I want to thank Demetrios' wife, Hilda. Thank you for everything that you have done to make this a success. I appreciate you very much. And I also want to thank Sarah Ruiz for providing information about kidney issues. Kidney issues are, you know, they plague our community disproportionately, so I thank her. And I want to thank Mr. Jason Chinchilla, our newest Que Viva La Música contributor. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for Jason. You know, new blood, the youth leading the way, and his heart and dedication are in everything that he does. You know, I will just say these 40 plus years it's been, and it continues to be my mission to support, not only to support the memory and keep them alive, our legends, our icons, but to support our independent musicians who, they sacrifice so much to bring the music to all of us and to keep our culture alive. So, you know, I pledge to keep doing that as long as God and the universe allow me to do that. And you know, I got to say, too, you guys make me look good because all I have to do is put you on the radio. It's not me, but it's you making me look good. So thank you. A round of applause for our musicians. And don't worry, I'm coming to a close here, Angel. I'm coming to a close. I just want to thank my... Okay. I want to thank my beloved community. Thank you for keeping me here, but thank you for making me who I am, because you have made it possible for me to participate in this music that is everything to me. This is the music that keeps me strong. It powers my soul. You can ask my son. I don't listen to any other music. This is the music that is me. I can't even separate it from myself. You know, so you've made me who I am. You've made my dreams come true in such a way that I never thought would even be possible. When I used to sit on the edge of my bed and listen to the music of Ray Barretto, Manny Oquendo, Tito Puente, Paquito, Eddie Palmieri, and all the greats, I never thought that I would even be involved in this industry. It's a dream come true. So, I want to say during these challenging days, and we are challenged these days, it's so important for us to, preserve and perpetuate our music, our history, and our culture, and to do it in an authentic way where all the stories are told, our struggles, our dreams, our failures, but our successes. It's so important that we transmit this to our children, that we make it known, because most people don't know what our people have done. So, we have to each take it upon ourselves to educate ourselves. I'm learning new things every day. We have to educate our children. I educate my son, Frank, and I don't want to forget to say thank you to my son, Frank, for his infinite patience with me. Round of support for Frank. So, I also want to... Yes, right. I also want to acknowledge, speaking of Mundo Salsa Radio, you can hear Que Viva La Música every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on mundosalsaradio.com. I want to acknowledge Edgar Pito Collazo, El DJ del Barrio, and Liz La Rumbera. And they have a show, Rumba, Salsa y Amor, and that is Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And I don't know if Jimmy Boston's here, Blanca? Jimmy! Yes, and of course you're here. I saw you before. That's what happens when you get old. You don't know who you see. But Jimmy has a show, Guarachando Sabroso, and that's Thursdays 8 to 10. So, again, today is about all of us, what we have done together, what we are doing together, what we will do together. And I bring it full circle to what my friend Tony Rodriguez, may he continue to rest in power, what Tony said, we never do it alone. Thank you, and que viva la música.
That was wonderful, folks. Stay right there, I'll go around you. There you go. No, I like this, because this is right in your face. You become part of this, and the silence is deafening right now. And I want to say, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this afternoon. And I think that we're all on board with that, right? Right? Okay? So love over hate. Maná. Love over hate. So, Demetrio, mijito, cuidado. Coge para acá. Oh my God, Demetrios' granddaughters and daughter come. Look at those babies.
Can I give this to her first?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to make this quick because something hot is about to happen on stage. In the words of Hermano Olivera, when we're done, there's going to be a huge hole in the ceiling. And there's going to be fire shooting off the stage. Real quickly, we love Vicki so much. I'm going to steal the words of Jose Calderon. He said, Vicki is a saint. Ella es una santa. Let's hear it for Vicki Solá. All right, so Vicki, this is for you. And let's do this quickly. These are not for sale. because I've been busy, I'm my own publicist, I write a lot of music, I sweep the stage, I'm running for president in 3 Latin American countries. But Vicki and Frank are official members of the Latin Jazz Coalition.
Awesome. A big shout out to a person that I love very much in here, Frankie, el gran cantante Frankie Vázquez. ¿Dónde tú estás, papi? Míralo ahí. All right, that's a legend right there, folks. Estás en la lista, mijo. Estás en la lista. Bueno, certificado de reconocimiento a una leyenda viviente. The Point CDC se honra en otorgar este certificado al señor Demetrios Kastaris. Certificado de reconocimiento a una leyenda en reconocimiento a Demetrios Kastaris, destacado trombonista y educador, cuya trayectoria de más de 5 décadas ha aportado al desarrollo del jazz, a la música latina, compartiendo con grandes leyendas y formando nuevas generaciones. Su talento y compromiso continúan dejando una huella duradera en nuestra cultura. Presentado el sábado 28 hoy de marzo del 2026.
Now you got to read it in Greek. Okay. Yeah, all right. Let's play. Okay, first Vicki, and then we're going to play.
Y entonces, ay Dios mío, es que tengo una alegría encima y una alegría en el corazón a verlo todos ustedes, because without any of you here, this wouldn't happen either, you know. We can't play for an empty house. Vicki, I love you. El reconocimiento a Vicki Solá, pionera de la radio latina, cuya destacada trayectoria ha promovido la salsa, el jazz latino por más de 4 décadas, apoyando tanto a artistas consagrados como emergentes. Su dedicación y pasión continúan inspirando y fortaleciendo a nuestra comunidad. Este sábado, 28 de marzo, te celebramos a ti y a Demetrios. Bueno, ya, la música, vamos. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Demetrios Kastaris and the Latin Jazz Coalition. Come on, let me hear it.
Okay, this is Mulense y Yo by one of the fathers of Afro-Cuban music. We're talking about Arsenio Rodriguez from Matanzas, Cuba. He did move, and he was a resident of the Bronx. This is Mulense y Yo, Arsenio Rodriguez.
Bye.
The arrangement on that was by the great Eddie Martinez, Colombian piano player. He wrote a lot of the songs that won Grammy Awards for Tito Puente, for Eddie Palmieri. He played with Mongo Santa Maria. And 38 years ago, he introduced me to his first cousin. And we've been married all this time. Okay. I have a lot of fun writing music in this style. As you can tell from my name. I'm from Greece. But about 47 years ago, we moved to New York, and I started eating rice and beans. Yeah, Ali said with spanakopita. Come to our house. We'll have moussaka and Cuban ropa vieja. Okay. Anyway, I had the privilege of being requested by Bobby Carcases in Havana, Cuba, to come down and teach a master class. I got there, and there was 42 trombone players all in one room. Benny Mores, trombone player. Antonio Leal Rodriguez was my assistant, and the trombonist from Iraquere was there taking the class. I was really overwhelmed. So that was my first trip to Cuba. That was in 2016. So I wrote this song in dedication to those 42 trombone players. For those who don't speak Spanish, destacado means high achieving. So I wrote this song and dedicated to them. It's called Trombo Cubanos Destacados. And in the last section, we go into an Afro-Cuban bembe, 6/8, and a Christian pastor from Nigeria taught me some of the Yoruba language, which is used in Cuba. And we say, Dios los bendiga, mis hermanos. Olorun abukun yin, which means God bless you in Yoruba. Hang on. I gotta find my music. One, two,
Babucuñi. Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Juegan Babucuñi. A los trombones cubanos. Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Juegan Babucuñi. A los trombones cubanos. Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Dios los bendiga, hermanos. Juegan Babucuñi. A los trombones cubanos.
Viva Cuba Libre. Están en nuestras oraciones.
No me conmociona esto.
Okay, cuéntame. Dame cuero. ¡Vaya, Angelito!
Ahí tú.
Luisito Quintero. Rompero.
Luisito Quintero, mi gente, de Venezuela.
Okay, we have a lot more music to do. However, the next part is my favorite part. I get to present you to my heroes. Okay, we're a United Nations orchestra. On the piano for Santiago de Cuba, you've heard him at the Buena Vista Social Club Broadway show. He is a Grammy Award winner, Mr. Cesar Orozco. Okay, that was Cuba. Hay un dicho, dos alas del mismo pájaro, the two wings of the same bird, Cuba and Puerto Rico. From Puerto Rico, San Juan, Mr. Alex Apolo Ayala. On the timbales, another Grammy Award winner. From Caracas, Venezuela, he was many years with Oscar de Leon. I heard him with Willie Colon. He's played with everybody. He's in the Spanish Harlem Orchestra with Oscar Hernandez, who wrote a lot of our music. How about it? Let's hear it from Mr. Luisito Quintero. On the conga drums from Bridgeport, Connecticut, he plays with everybody, including Mark Anthony and Jerry Rivera. How about it for Mr. Marcos A. Torres III? Okay, from Valencia, Venezuela, and later moving to Caracas, you'll hear him tonight if you go to Lehman with the Hector Lavoe Band, Mr. Ali Bello. Okay, this next guy, he's younger than me, but he's one of my heroes, because we went into the recording studio, and there's a lot of pressure, because, you know, it costs a lot of money, and the engineer, and all these musicians, and we had like 12 of the top musicians in Latin music breathing down his throat, and on the first try, I was overwhelmed by how incredible he plays. He's recorded with Celia Cruz. He's recorded with Paquito de Rivera. Actually, we all have recorded with Paquito. And Mario Baza. From Cincinnati, Ohio, Mr. Noah Bless. Okay, I'll try to make this quick. Angel comes to me and he goes, "You got to give this young guy a break." And I said, "No. No. We already got 40 people on this recording. Do you know how much this is costing? Forget it." He said, "Would you please give this guy a try?" I said, "No, no." So then he asked me again, and I said, "No." Now I'll say it in Spanish. "No, no, no." So he comes to the recording, and he made our head spin. He is such a discovery. He did such an incredible job on the coros and singing in harmony, which is very difficult. From Toa Alta, Puerto Rico, Janiel Rosado Santiago. Okay, about 47 years ago, I was a waiter. You know, you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills. I was a waiter at Terrace on the Park, wearing this ridiculous blue waiter's outfit, and in walks this incredible Puerto Rican salsa band, La Herencia Latina, and Louis was with them singing. So I got some nerve. I walked right up to the leader, Ray Rico Rodriguez, and I said, I know I'm on the time clock, but I practice the trombone a lot. Would your trombone player loan me his trombone so that I could play a solo in front after I served the coffee? And Ray said, yes. And he liked me, and he started calling me, and then I started playing with La Herencia Latina. Louis is such an in-demand singer. From San Germán, Puerto Rico, Luis Rosas. On the trumpet, he's multi-instrumentalist. He plays the valve trombone, he sings, he writes music, he plays trumpet, he does everything, and he's very dedicated to this project. He flew in all the way from San Juan Bautista, California. How about it for Mr. David Rios? Okay, we're almost there. Now the next one, okay, I love my family. They're here, my brother Euripides. When you have a name like that, you either fight well or run. Okay, but we love him, and he's here. He's here with Lori, and my wife's here, and my gorgeous granddaughter. Oh, my daughter Catherine, who I love so much, and Carmen, the trombone player, and Penelope, the piano player. But Connie's in my chosen family. 31 years ago, I went to Lincoln Center Outdoors, and she was playing with the legendary Yomo Toro, and she's been with us for 31 years, and she's an officer on our advisory board because this band is an institution. How about it for Miss Connie Grossman? Now, okay, that night at Lincoln Center Outdoors, it was Louis Kahn on violin and Connie on flute, and Yomo Toro says, from Israel, Puerto Rico, Connie Grossman. Okay, and we talk on the phone all the time. We have business to talk about, and she calls me and we talk about, when are we going to play in Greece? When are we going to play in Greece? When are we going to play in Greece? So when we go to Greece, I'm going to introduce her as Kanula Grossmanakis. Okay, besides Angel, did I miss anybody besides Angel? All right. Now, when I start yelling out Latino countries, like, is this country here, San Presente, sometimes it divides the audience because if I forget one of the countries. But I'm going to make an exception here, because we are in the South Bronx. Okay, que se oiga, ¡Viva Puerto Rico! Ok, la isla del encanto, donde se oye los coquís, puede visitar el yunque, las playas hermosas y la gente simpática.
Y Bad Bunny.
No comment. All right, so this guy, 36 years ago, I went to the New York Poets Cafe, and it was Patato Valdez and all these, Victor Rendon, all these great. So he comes out and he takes a shekere, and he starts throwing it up in the air, and the audience went wild, and I said, I gotta get this guy's phone number. And so he's been in the band for 36 years. He is the composer of the title tune, El Griego Rumbero. From Naranjito, Puerto Rico, Ángel Ruben Rodriguez. And by the way, I took conga lessons from him, and he said, you know what? You don't sound like an outsider anymore. You're learning how to play on the right beat.
I actually told him to stick to the trombone.
You had to say that. Okay, let's go on. Okay, they were on fire. I'm a fan of theirs. I go to they're in my band, but I'm a fan of theirs. I go to their concerts. I pay money to go to their concerts. I pay money to buy their CDs and everything. And they're on fire. But now, it's a different kind of fire. It's the fire in my heart for the one I love. This is for Hilda. Yeah, man. Let's make this quick. Tuesday, September 15, 1987, 3:46 at Long Island City, in Long Island City, on Dipmores. Okay, I saw her for the first time, and it was I Only Have Eyes for You. But when she says it with her Spanish accent, it has the opposite meaning. She says, I only have ice for you. Okay, so last night I looked in her eyes and I said, Mamita, would you marry me again? It's been almost 4 decades. And she said, give me the freedom and you will find out. Could we switch stands? Armando Manzanero Canché from Mexico wrote this. Contigo aprendí. I love the words. Nací el día que te conocí. I was born the day that I met you. Nice and soft. Her teacher showed her 30 different instruments. 30 different instruments. Carmen, what instrument do you, nice and loud, what instrument do you play? Okay, Malena, come on down. Okay. I'm gonna be a crybaby too. Okay, so her father started with us in 1987. He was with us for 30 years. He was responsible for writing a lot of the lyrics to our songs. He was such a nice guy. The first time he came, he brought the Aces on and asked me to pay him for that. He wrote so many of our lyrics. He came up with the idea of Trombone Quizazón, our first album. He, in 1998, he was the one that gave me my name, Griego Rumbero. Years later, Angel wrote a song. Okay, this is for you. Okay, let's only do this in one language because it's getting late. This is we wrote this to Iram. We honored him in life. Dame flores cuando estoy vivo. Okay, Mr. Iram Ramón, acepta por favor desde lo más profundo de nuestros corazones el reconocimiento que queremos brindarle por su magnífico nivel de maestría musical, su hermoso timbre de voz y su servicio incondicional al grupo Latin Jazz Coalition en ese tiempo por más de 20 años, ya ha sido 30 años. Su maravilloso estilo vocal ha contribuido a que nuestro grupo sea reconocido como una orquesta de excelencia. Sus creativas improvisaciones vocales han dado vida y entusiasmo a nuestros espectáculos en vivo y en grabación. Su gran talento, versatilidad y conocimiento masivo de la música de numerosos países nos ha abierto puertas a una gran cantidad de contratos de demandas exigentes, mucho más que su inmenso talento musical. Es su disposición como un ser humano cálido, amable, compasivo y maravilloso. Por esas razones le amamos, le respetamos y le admiramos. Bravísimo a Iram Ramón. What's going on? Okay, let's go on. Okay. Now, so Iram baptized me, but not in a church. Iram baptized me, El Griego Rumbero. That was in 1998. And in 2002, Angel Rodriguez wrote this song, El Griego Rumbero, which is the title of our song, of our CD, which will be available today. Okay, so it's a story of how I was born in Thessaloniki, Greece, grew up in St. Louis, and came to New York to discover Latin music. So we hope you enjoy this.
alegato se encontraron instrumentos africanos. No olvidemos los taínos que también le dieron mano a una música tan bella que por Dios fue bien creado. El Griego Rumbero, como en Puerto Rico, una nota que escuchea se escapó del alegato al oído de Demetrio de Saloniti fue a parar. Ha sembrado una semilla de la iglesia alborotada por agrado del Señor. Mira lo que ha pasado. Varios años desde esa conexión, desde Grecia a San Luis, al corazón de Nueva York, ha nacido un Rumbero con la gracia del Señor. Demetrio fue bautizado, Griego Rumbero con sabor. El
Thank you.
Okay. The next one I wrote in 1986, and this song caused the birth of the Latin Jazz Coalition. We recorded it, like you said, in the middle of the night in Jamaica, Queens, and then we submitted the cassette tape at that time to the Queens Council on the Arts, And evidently, they liked the song because they had a competition once a year, and for 30 years in a row, we won every time for generous grant funding. So this is Impressions of a Havana Sunset. Let's go for Connie. How about it for Connie Grossman? What?
It's 434.
It's what?
434.
Okay, we got it. Okay. Man, I have been eating arroz con habichuela, chicharrón, chuleta, lechon, but I haven't forgotten that I'm Greek. Okay? Yeah, man, I was born in Greece, and somebody told me to change my name, and I would sell more CDs, and I said, I ain't doing that. Okay, so when I was about 4 years old, my mother taught me how to do this dance called the Kalamatiano, which is very famous in Greece. And, you know, we have a fantastic arranger here, Mr. Spyros Kastaris. He took a genre that is thousands of years old. It's danced at every Greek baptism and wedding. And he did something, he changed it. He made it completely new and added jazz harmonies, and he added James Brown guitar and Jimi Hendrix. And, but there's still some Kalamata olives in there. Okay, so he's the arranger, Spyros Kastaris Kalamatiano. By the way, just out of curiosity, are there any Greek people here today?
I pay a check.
Okay, Zito Elas, Zito η 25η Μαρτίου, Zito η ελληνική παράδοση, Zito η ελληνική γλώσσα. All right, so now we're going to go to some music that actually puts the Middle East in harmony with itself, which is saying a lot. Okay, this genre is called Taksim. That's a Turkish word, but it's used a lot in Greek music and music of the Muslim world. So I've been around the world, and I came up with this song. It's called Ancestral Return. Dios. Yes, yes, the Middle East. If you'll notice in your programs, we wrote words of blessing in Hebrew as well as Arabic, and we pray that the world will get along. Oh, Josh, hang on, Josh. Josh, hold up your oud. Okay, Josh is having his CD release party on April 16th, and I ask you to please go up to him later, and he has information. He plays, the name of the group is Baklava Express. It's not intended to be funny. It combines Greek and Jewish, Middle Eastern, and North African elements, so we want to support Josh. And now, a first. My ears are in the Eastern Hemisphere and are in the Western Hemisphere. According to Duke Ellington, there's only two kinds of music. Good music and everything else. Okay, so now we have a first. So my dad was a Greek Orthodox priest, and I grew up around what you're about to hear. I have played this CD for people of every religion you could possibly imagine, and everyone says the same thing. They enjoy it. It's art. It's music. So we're going to invite the Papastefano family here. Okay, and they're going to sing some music from the early Christian church from 1700 years ago. This is what's known as Byzantine music. It was born in Istanbul, Constantinople, Turkey. Okay, the first one is, we have seen the true light, we have received the spirit of heaven.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay. 1, 2.
First, we are chanting, "We have seen the true light" in first tone. Ready? Yeah. Cherubic hymn, first tone.
All right. We're out of time, but we're out of time. If you like that music, we're coming out with a CD of all of that, and we're going to mix it with African American gospel music. We're going to put those two together. We're going to have the ancient Byzantine chanting of 1700 years ago, along with the Voices of Victory Gospel Choir from Jamaica, Queens, and that we're going to call that the Byzantine Gospel. So check that out in a couple of months.
Okay. Vamos.
Okay,
Vamos.
we're out of time, but since we love Vicki so much, we called Oscar Hernandez a few days ago, and he wrote an arrangement of Que Viva La Música just for Vicki.
So we're going to do a short version, and we're going to bring up Mr. Frankie Vasquez.
We're going to do a short version.
To come up. Mr. Frankie, come on up. Ven. Sí.
Oh, yeah. Last thing. Our CDs are available with a 40-piece orchestra, Paquito de Rivera, Steve Touré, Oscar Hernandez. They will be available outside. God bless you.
Hey guys. I guess Vicki, this is for you. Saludos a todos. Thank you, Dimitri.
Frankie, I'm a fan of yours, man. You're my hero.
Oh, thank you.
That was not intended to be a joke.
Well, I'm a fan of yours. And that's a joke.
Okay, eso se llama una indirecta.
Let's go, vamos.
Okay, let's go.
Avanza, mijo, que viene la policía. No, que esta gente debe ir a trabajar.
Okay.
La música es el arte de expresar con emoción. La música es el arte de expresar con emoción. Los sentimientos sinceros del corazón. Por eso digo con gran orgullo, música. Que suenen los tambores. Creación. Ahí. Ahí. Habla Ángel, habla Ángel. Guárdame, Evelyn, guárdame.
A quick for Demetrios Kastaris almost afternoon. And go to the atrium, folks. There's some beverages out there. We're selling some food. Get out there, hang out for a little bit. And we got some CDs for sale. And also, I want to pay a big shout out to Linda Garrison. We are on Sundays at WBA. Every Sunday from 3 to 6. You can hear us there. Important people, thank you very much. Oye, Paquito, está vendiendo algo. Vamos para allá. Gracias, mi gente, gracias. This is beautiful. Gracias.
God bless you.